Goodbye to RuneScape Classic, it was good to me. Finished every quest it had, easy as 1, 2, 3. 22 full years of questing to make some deaths forevermore. RuneScape 3 Hardcore Ultimate Ironman, questing through 2004. Welcome back to May 18th, 2004. I'm still woodcutting and fletching while I can. There is 71 fletching, dragonstone tipped rune bolts, and corpse thorn short bows. Those don't exist. The first necromancer also doesn't exist. Get out of here. But another level. Making all these use shield bows unstrung, getting plenty of money and fletching XP. This is all working nicely. And so, just gonna keep doing this. This is definitely very solid AFK activity. Just a few clicks over to the store in Catherby, a few clicks back over here to the yew trees. Chopping them, fletching them. It's all working out. I'm gonna do just a little bit more of this before we move on. 79 woodcutting. No unlocks for that, but we're getting very close to a good level. It's all going. Yeah. Here is another 211,000 coins from fletching. Withdraw all of that. New cash stack. 2,683,000. Looking really nice. I've got plans for that. But for right now, we've got some updates. On May 21st, 2004, they upgraded the UK pay by SMS telebilling service. Exactly how it was upgraded is not immediately mentioned, but the new code is 89118. So, make of that what you will. On May 24th, 2004, the high scores were updated. Now, have 500,000 spaces for you to compete over. It was getting a little bit too competitive. You still need to have at least level 30 in the skill to be on the high scores, and they will not update with everyone's information until they log in again. So it's going to take a little bit for the high scores to be completely accurate here. Yeah, 500,000 is a decent amount. I don't think our ranks are anything exciting, especially at this stage. Not really competing with anyone here. That's okay. On May 25th, 2004, the website world map was updated. This doesn't happen super frequently. It's going to be a lot nicer once it's in the in-game world map. But that's not for a while. Making do with what we got here. And it's mostly working out. Dealing with all the various updates and not that they change anything. On June 1st, 2004, the game update system got some improvements, with promises of future updates downloading 10 times faster than they previously were. The main changes to make this all work better was only downloading models that have been changed or added, and not literally everything every single time. You can also log in while non-essential files download, like some models that are further off that you didn't get. And if you end up going over there too quickly, it will prioritize downloading those first. A lot of this is going to be a bit slower this time, since everyone's downloading everything last time here. And the architecture is better for just downloading parts of it. And another thing that everyone's going to be downloading is all the maps and music across the entire game as they're exploring around. They will load faster once they've been downloaded this first time. But since everyone is downloading all the maps and music at the same time and running around while it's still trying to download things, causing a bit of lag, which shouldn't be too surprising. So the rates for specifically the maps and music were lowered slightly. So all the lag and everything should be fine once everyone finishes downloading everything. And then in the future, it's not going to be a problem because everyone won't be downloading everything all the time. Would be much nicer. Especially on 2004 internet. Not having to download everything constantly. A very useful improvement. And then outside of the game, we got the friends high scores. So you can compare all your ranks to all your friends. See who is doing good. Or who you are worse than. Or better than. It's some friendly competition and all that. Or just delete all the people on your friends list that are better than you so you can say you're the best. Different priorities, I suppose. And lastly, Saradomin Godletters 20. More bits of wild random lore. Answering your questions. Very good. And then, on June 2nd, 2004, we get the next quest. Elemental Workshop. Ignore the 1. If there's just Elemental Workshop. 20 smithing, 20 mining, 20 crafting, a little bit of combat, and a few required items. Right here it says we just need a thread and some coal, but that is tool belt land requirements. So we're going to need a few more things than that. But overall, easy enough. Let's go and get some things. First among which is going to be runes, so I can teleport around to all the different places I need to go. It all works. It all works. Would be nice to have a rune shop out over here, though. Either need to run to Yanil or Port Sarum, basically. Or I guess we go to the wilderness. Either way. Nothing over here in Camelot, Sears, Catherby, or even Ardoyne. So, a bit of a rune desert out here. It's unfortunate, because about the times we need to come back and keep shopping. But, alright. Let's go. Starting our shop run over here at Bob's Axes. Getting the bronze pickaxe. Don't really need a better pickaxe than that, and don't really want to spend any extra money. A little unnecessary. I mean, we do have 2.6 million coins, so we could definitely splurge on a slightly better pickaxe here, but it's not needed. Not needed at all. And this would be the part where it'd be nice to have a Ring of Dueling, teleport to the duel arena, but we don't have that. That's okay. We can just run over here to Alcarid. Not a big problem. And Alcarid should have a lot of the things that we need here. Pretty much all of them. So we just head to the crafting store here. Trade Damek. Get a needle, which may or may not exist during the quest. Would be obtainable during the quest, but there have been some situations where spawns and things have changed, so might as well just grab it while we're here. And we also need a couple thread. Maybe just one thread, but they're only 4 coins each, so not a big deal. We're going to be doing some stuff with that thread, with some stuff that we actually will find during the quest, so don't need to worry about that part, at least. And we also need a hammer. There we go. And now, like we saw on the list of required items here, we need 4 coal. Best spot I can go get that, or good spot that I know of to get coal, over here in the Dwarven Mines, near Valador. Likely going to be taking this path quite often in the near-ish future to train smithing. Because I don't think other options are too good at this point. Basically going to be running iron and coal, teleporting to Falador, coming back into the mines. It'll be okay. A few options that would be also possibilities would be like getting nature runes and superheat iteming steel bars. But they're a little expensive getting nature runes. And as it currently stands, rune crafting might be not the best, because we can't really get some of the talismans. I think by that point, it definitely will exist to get talismans in a better spot. But at least for now, we're not too worried about rune crafting. It's gonna be a process in the future, though. That's for sure. Drop that. Only need 4 coal. If we wanted to make more of the stuff during the quest, we could go and get more coal here, but not too necessary, all things considered. And then we're back to Camelot. Very good. Because we need to start this quest. Not by talking to anybody or anything, but just by searching a bookcase. Right here in Sears Village. You find a book titled The Elemental Shield. Let's have a read. And immediately the quest start screen pops up. Amazing. Elemental Workshop 1. It would have been slightly spoilery calling it Elemental Workshop 1 at the start. Kind of would have been a promise of future Elemental Workshops. See if that is also how it started for some other Part 1 businesses. But Elemental Workshop. Except Book of the Elemental Shield. Within the pages of this book, you will find the secret to working the very elements themselves. Early in the 5th Age, a new ore was discovered. This ore has a unique property of absorbing, transforming, or focusing elemental energy. A workshop was erected close by to work this new material. The workshop was set up for artisans and inventors to be able to come and create devices made from the unique ore found only in the village of the Seers. After some time of successful industry, the true power of this ore became apparent as greater and more powerful weapons were created. Realizing the threat this posed, the Magi of that time closed down the workshop and bound it under lock and key, also trying to destroy all knowledge of the manufacturing process. Yet this book remains, and you may still find a way to enter the workshop within this leather-bound volume. A hidden workshop in the Sears Village. Sounds like a plan to me. And by find a way in the volume, you just slash the spine of the book and find an old battered key, which we cannot add to the key ring because that does not exist yet. But we will use this key to open up the odd looking wall. One of our many abilities here, being able to see through walls. See this obvious staircase over here. Open. Use the better key to open the doors. Brilliant. Climb down the staircase. Now to explore this area thoroughly to find what forgotten secrets it contains. So we were just heading down here of our own volition. Nobody's telling us to go find the secret workshop. We got a secret workshop with a new ore creating apparently powerful new weapons or whatever they're saying. You gotta go check that out, clearly. Pretty wild that they can just have the book right nearby. They must have not done a very good job of trying to stop all the information from getting out. Search some crates here. Always a good choice. Find a bit of leather and a stone bowl. An empty stone bowl. Wow. And down here, we got a few different things. We got a hatch that we are unable to open because it's locked. We got some anvils on workbenches, which opens up an interface here with a little bit of spoilers of what's going on here later. So these are where they were working with the new metal. And we have 4 different ways we can go here for each of the elements. We got fire, air, water, and earth. Head over to the earth side here, where we can mine elemental rock. But the rock is angry and wants us to get off it. Instead, we will whack it with a hatchet and take its rocky remains. We have a rock and the elemental ore. Yoink. We also have just regular earth elementals up here. We can bop them. They are just earth elementals. They drop just rocks. And also potentially clay or something, but nothing we need to worry about. So this is the mystical new ore that I found. From the sounds of it and its ability to interface with all the different elements and stuff, calling it elemental ore is appropriate. Makes a lot of sense. Here we have a water wheel. We got levers and water controls and flow gates. So I'm gonna try turning some stuff. Make the water wheel turn. Turn the handle here. This one's green. Green's probably good. Green means go. Turn this handle. Nothing. Pull the lever. Things reset. Try the other way. This one first. That one's green. Open the exit area. Then open the entrance. And both green. pull the lever, and the water wheel is going. Might actually be flowing the other way. Based on the water wheel is spinning here. It's spinning more normally than the one down near Lumbridge, at least. Just going absolutely wild. I wonder if that's still having a great time. It's flowing this way. Hitting it from the bottom is an interesting way to have the water wheel going. It's more of a, sometimes even more of a falling kind of thing. Also got all sorts of machinery and stuff doing machinery things. These ones aren't powered, but once we got the water wheel turning here, it's probably good. And water elementals are water. Still susceptible to hitting with a weapon here. Got a lot of vials of water and stuff. Not super important. Continuing on clockwise here into the air elemental area. This machinery is now powered from the water power there. It's trying to do stuff, but the bellows are broken. So we're just going to fix the bellows. Stitch leather over the hole in the bellows. That's definitely going to make the bellows work better, not having a giant hole in them. Pull the lever. And now it is pumping air. Amazing. Very good. And lastly, right down here, in the fire area, the furnace is a special kind of furnace with an air blast pipe, making it hotter than normal. And what also is hotter than normal are all these fire elementals, looking very flamey, and a literal trough of lava. Small trough full of lava. We got a stone bowl. Go scoop up some lava. Always a good choice. Fill the bowl with hot lava. Amazing. And we'll use the lava to get the furnace going. Empty the lava into the furnace, and it bursts to life. So it's made of lava and wind. And the wind is water powered. So the only element left is earth with the ore here. Place the elemental ore and 4 heaps of coal in the furnace and retrieve a bar of elemental metal. Elemental bar. So, if the book is to be believed, we can use this to fashion powerful weapons or something. The only thing we can make is the elemental shield. And so we will. Following the instructions of the book, you make an elemental shield. And that is quest complete. We decide for ourselves. We accomplished the thing. We used the fancy new material, made a thing, and learned a lot along the way. 1 quest point, 5,000 crafting XP, 5,000 smithing XP, access to this whole workshop down here, the elemental shield that we made, and the ability to make more if we were so inclined. If we look at the elemental shield here, it's pretty interesting. When we equip it, it's got a little bit of a animation. A little elemental swoop below us. Neat. The shield itself, as you can see, because it's kind of see-through, it's made of magicness. Before the evolution of combat, it was a solid choice for very early magic defense in the shield slot. But with the evolution of combat, it's not too good for us at this point. If we check the stuff here, as it is a magic shield, it gives us a melee and also range, technically, accuracy penalty, which is not helpful. And also, the only magic weapons that exist were changed to two-handed staffs. So, the usefulness of a magic shield is basically zero, currently. Also, it's not good at all. It's really not. So your total armor bonus here, it's got a whopping 22. Meanwhile, the black kite shield has way more. 40, 76. Because the black kite shield is a higher tier. I think the elemental shield's like level 1 or something. It's not a good shield for pretty much anything. If we're using magic, we would be using two-handed staffs anyways, so not much we can do with that. Still, also AUX for only 12 coins, so not even worth messing with that part. Let's get out of here. That is the Elemental Workshop. We will be returning, as you might expect from the fact it said Elemental Workshop 1 on the quest list. But for now, just a little bit of that there. A little bit of crafting and smithing XP. Always appreciated. Good to have XP. And 5,000 in each, that's a pretty solid chunk of experience there for how easy that quest was. Gotta learn a lot while we are messing around with things that people are trying to hide away. We'll learn more about the problems that faced the Elemental Workshop in future quests. But for now, we don't need the stone bowl anymore since the furnace is going. Don't need a hammer because we made the shield. We only need the pickaxe because we already mined the rock golem. That's the only part we needed the pickaxe for. And would work with the tool belt pickaxe now, but that's not a thing. Don't need the slashed book. We can always grab it back from the bookcase, which is possibly a bit of let's call it lore of how the slashed book / the book before we slashed it was hanging out here despite people's efforts to get rid of information about the workshop. Always magically returns to the bookcase. So that's good. And similarly, we can get the key back out too. Whether we need to slash the book again, not a huge deal. There is a knife right over here. So if we ever need to get into the workshop again, not a big deal. Also did only use one thread, it's fine. Didn't find a second needle in any of the boxes, so looks like we did make the right choice to bring a needle by ourselves. Again, that's on the tool belt, which we can't have yet. And since it only AUX for 12 coins, not really worth bringing to a general store to sell or anything. I'm just going to drop the elemental shield on the ground here. Is it stuck in the pile? Let's see what the shield itself looks like on the ground. Yeah, looks pretty good. An interesting idea. Like a lot of things, evolution of combat really simplified things. And then there's all the other updates later to the evolution of combat. We kind of work with what we got here. Can't change the stats of things or anything. And I guess we'll just drop these runes here too. As you might expect, we are heading right back over to the yew trees. Continue doing some more wood cutting and fletching until we are ready to continue on to the next updates. And due to current time constraints and future things that are going to be happening, that'll be it for this episode. Technically, we can get away with continuing on to the next quest, or we can just have each of these in their own separate episodes here. Pad out the time a little bit so I can do more woodcutting. Hopefully keep the rune hatchet for a while. There are at least 2 upcoming instances where we might lose the hatchet, and then one where we absolutely will. No questions asked. So that is the hard deadline. We still want to try to get as much of this done before the possible soft deadlines, just so we don't feel like we are behind where we want to be. Do still have goals in the woodcutting and fletching department, and then stretch goals depending on how long things go. But of course, we can't continue just woodcutting and fletching forever, even if we didn't have the hard deadline that we're going to eventually come up to, because we need to train other skills too, eventually. But not yet. That'll be just fine. That is another quest done in 2004, and still plenty more to go. Next time. Goodbye.